Hello, everybody. I am Lulu. I'm a compulsive overeater. I'm from Boston, Massachusetts. And I would like to share with you something that was shared with me very early on in my recovery. I was sitting with my sponsor. We were working the steps. We started working step one, and I was understanding that I was powerless over alcohol and food in my case. But we'll just talk about food here. I'm powerless over food. My life is unmanageable. And I need to tap into a power greater than myself to be restored to sanity. So I'm being told that I'm powerless, I'm unmanageable, I need power that I don't have, and I'm insane. This is the stuff I'm being told, right? And I'm not liking it too much. And I'm feeling like this real odd duck. I'm feeling like an oddball. I'm like, wow, like I felt like I was cursed, right? And I'm like, I just feel like everywhere I go, I'm just like this oddball, like I need to swallow all of this and say, yes, I am like different than everybody, and my whole life is going to be weird, and So anyway, she said, "There's something I want you to see." And she has her fingertips on everything. She had this bookshelf filled with books. Shalece, I'm getting a little noise. Is there somebody unmuted? Oh, there, it's quiet now. She grabbed this book. She went through all these books on the bookshelf, and she found it. She goes, here's the book. She grabbed the book, and the name of the book was Serenity. That's all I remember. I don't remember who it's by. I don't know, whatever. But she opens the book, and she's flipping through the pages. She comes to this page, and she hands me the book, and she said, Lulu, read this. So I said, so it was about addictive agents. And she said, and so I started reading it out loud. What is an addictive agent? It's those persons or things on which we form an excessive dependency. So the catalog of addictive agents include, so I started reading them out loud. Alcohol or drugs. She's like, can you see that? How some people form an excessive dependency on alcohol or drugs? Yes, very clearly. Work, achievement, and success. There's people that are so wrapped up in achievement and success in their work, which would be like workaholism. Their lives have become unmanageable, and their priorities are so out of whack. They're not in their thinking is not in proportion to reality, which is what insanity is. So families are affected by workaholism. I need that next hit. I need that next promotion. I need that overtime. I need that somebody to tell me I did a good job. That would be somebody that had a work achievement success addiction, and how that would affect their lives. Money addiction, such as overspending, gambling, and hoarding. Think about that's just all that financial insecurity. Shopping, shopaholics, people that cannot stop buying stuff. They can't stop buying stuff. See, I can't relate to that because I'm a frugal person. But people, they can't stop going to the mall. It's that next hit. It's that, if I just have that purse, just that purse. I know it's $400, but if I have that purse, then I'll be okay. Then I'll be good enough. And there they go, get the purse. And then how long does that last? Probably about as long as the excitement that we get from eating a cookie, because the excitement lasts a very short time until all the remorse sets in, and then you need more relief. Gambling, people that like their families are being destroyed financially because they're just waiting. This is the time. This is that time my horse is going to come in first place. This is the time I'm going to hit the mega bucks, and then hoarding money. So there's all kinds of things here. Maybe you can find yourself in one or more or all 18 of these addictions. I find myself in several of them, probably a handful, maybe 5 or so. Control addictions, especially if they surface in personal, sexual, family, and business relationships. That's just that feeling of control, controlling people, controlling events, controlling uh, spouses, controlling um, um, all kinds of events. And you just can't stop. Even though you have very, very little success controlling other people, what do? We keep trying it again. And it only destroys relationships. People don't want to be controlled. So some people suffer with that excessive dependency on controlling. Food addictions. Yeah, oh yeah, I get that. I'll just explain it. I mean, it's like I say I'm not going to eat it, and then what am I doing later? I'm just eating it. I can't help it. I have to. And then when I have that, I need more, and it just snowballs into a binge, an unhealthy binge that's unhealthy for me, spiritually, mentally, and physically. And in my addiction, in my food addiction, it stole my joy. It stole my life. I never knew like what I was going to do in between meals when I put the food down, because life seemed so empty. But it's really interesting when how full was my life in between meals, in between binges, when all I was thinking about was the next binge. So like how fabulous was that life? Like I really had to kind of, in this program, it helped me understand how I was using food alcoholically. And then 6 is sexual addictions. That's people that are, people that are using sex as a power, using sex as validation for themselves. So I'm going to use somebody sexually so that I can feel attractive and good about myself, even though I don't really even care about you. And then you're just playing around with people's hearts. There's pornography addictions that are destroying marriages, that are destroying, that feel like cheating to their spouses. There's prostitution, all kinds of a myriad of things in the sex addictions, and there's programs for that too. Approval dependency, the need to please people. Sometimes people think that people pleasing makes you a nice person. Look at how nice I am. I'm always doing nice things for people. But what happens is I'm really not doing these things for people to be nice. I'm doing things because I have an excess dependency on approval. I need you to tell me that I'm a wonderful person. I need to tell you what I did for that person. I need to say, you know how fabulous I am? I went to the food pantry today and I worked there and I served the homeless. And it's like I need you to approve of me. So I want to tell you everything that I do that's wonderful. And also I'm going to tell you, I'm going to do you favors that I don't even have time for. I'm stealing from my family, trying to do you a favor because I need you to approve of me and be my friend. I don't know what it takes. It's really not doing this, but this is what it feels like. I need to please you. And that's when people get that. That's an excessive dependency on approval to please people and to feel valid, to feel approval myself. It's where I look for approval. And then rescuing patterns towards other people. That would be, if my kid's a drug addict and I'm just constantly trying to figure out how I'm going to rescue this person and how I'm going to get him clean and how I'm going to save you, and I'm going to save the world, and I'm going to save everything. I'm going to save the sex addicts. I'm going to save the food addicts. I'm going to save the workaholics. I'm going to save the alcoholics. I mean, it's like always, but in your own personal life, if you can see that need to rescue, and it's less to do with saving other people, because God's got everybody. Like, I don't need to rescue the world. I don't even have the power to do that. But what I need to do is I need to relieve myself of that feeling that I have, that excessive dependency on the feeling to not have people in my life that need rescuing. I can't stand it so much that I alcoholically rescue people. Okay. 9 is my dependency on toxic relationships that are damaging and hurtful. That's, your people that are in toxic relationships, people that are, people that are getting beaten up by their spouses or verbally abused, all kinds of abuse that's going on. And so, I don't really understand it because I don't have any experience with it, but I'm just going to give my opinion on it. When people are in those toxic relationships and they don't leave, and we sit there and say, why do they stay? Like, why do they stay? I don't know why. That's why, like, I guess for the same reason why somebody might say to me, why can't you just not eat that cookie? Like, why? I don't get it. It's like, you don't get it because I'm a food addict. And so this dependency on toxic relationships that people have, I don't know, is it about victimhood? I don't know. I don't know what it is. But I can see that they have an excessive dependency on that relationship, no matter how toxic it is. So I'm going to end there. And Shalece, would you like to just touch on the next 9? I mean, it's not that we're profoundly educated in all of this. It's just
I would love to.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to take it from 10 to 18. So 10 is physical illness or hypochondria. And this might be someone who is constantly trying to search out what's wrong with them. Oh my gosh, I must be feeling this way because, and they're just spending all the time researching what illness they might have. And that can be an addiction. Exercise and physical conditioning. This can actually be pretty closely tied to food addiction. And, a compulsive eater might also excessively purge through exercise or physical conditioning, and that's not healthy or well either. Cosmetics, clothing, cosmetic surgery to look good on the outside. People can be totally fixated and totally addicted to how they look. And, if only I have the perfect nose or the perfect eyes or the perfect breasts or the perfect thighs or whatever, and that can get out of control. Academic pursuits and excessive intellectualizing. Again, I will feel better if I've got this achievement or I've accomplished this or this or this. 14 is religiosity or religious legalism. So the preoccupation with the form and the rules and regulations of religion rather than the benefit from the real spiritual message. So a real focus on, you need to be doing this, and this, and this. And if I do all of these things, then I'll be okay. Or, if they do those things, then they'll be okay. Or I'm going to be punished if I don't do those things. And it can be a real challenge with that one as well. Okay, general perfectionism. So I need to have a perfect house. I need to have the perfect clothes. I need to just be perfect in every area of my life in order to be okay. And then, of course, that can lead to depression and anxiety in not being able to actually achieve that. 16, cleaning and avoiding contamination and other excessive compulsive symptoms. 17, organizing, structuring, always need to have everything in its place. Again, these are just kind of more control my environment, control the outside things so that I'll feel okay, that the obsessive compulsive things, and then also organizing and structuring. And then 18 is materialism, seeking after seeking after material things, cars, houses, even perfect relationships or things like that, outside things to make me feel okay. And it's never enough. I achieved that one thing and that didn't do it. So I need to keep getting more and more and more and more. And it never ends there. So, okay. Most of us can see ourselves somewhere in this list. All of us can benefit from the truths that emerge from the 12 steps because all of us are to some degree codependent. Codependency is an effort to control interior feelings by manipulating people, things, and events on the outside. And I just wanted to add to this that all of these things are different addictions and different things that people can experience, but it's all it's all for the same purpose, and that is to numb the feelings and numb the emotions. We do all of these things to get an effect, to feel better, or to feel a certain way, or to feel in control. And I would kind of compare it to a check engine light. We've got all these human emotions that kind of build up. And so it's kind of like in your car, you have this check engine light, and the light comes on, and you just look at the light and you're like, oh, that light's on. It's really annoying. So you just slap a sticky note over the top of it, and the light gets brighter and brighter and brighter, and you just stick more sticky notes on it. You're like, dang it. And then all of a sudden your car just explodes, and it gets, so essentially what we experience as addicts is we've got these feelings, and the emotions are kind of check engine lights. I need to look at my thinking and see where my thinking is off. But as an addict, I don't want to feel those feelings, so I'm going to cover them up with food, or I'm going to cover them up with alcohol, or any number of these things on this list, instead of just actually looking at the feelings and noticing them, feeling them, working through them, and then keeping up a maintenance so that my body and my mind are running at a smooth and good and healthy pace. So anyway, that's what I've got to share on that. Anything you want to add, Lulu?
Yes, that was great, Shalece. Wonderful. I just want to go back to when I was on the sofa with my sponsor, and she had me read this out loud after I was squawking and complaining about how I was the odd duck in the world, and I'm never going to have fun at a party again because I can't have a pizza at the party, and I can't have a cocktail at the party. And she said, after we read that last one, that 18, materialism, she said, Lulu, read the next line, read it. And so I was like, most of us can see ourselves somewhere in this list. And she's like, what does it say again? She really wanted me to see that it says most of us can see ourselves somewhere on this list. So she said, most of us, when you're looking around at this world, at all these people, and you're feeling like an oddball and you're feeling like an odd duck, she's like, most of the people that you're coming in contact with can find themselves somewhere on this list. So God bless them, they're suffering in a different area, equally as destructive, because it's addiction. It's addiction. It's going to the wrong solution, it's taking your emotions, going to the wrong solution with them. That's what addiction is. It's like, I need relief. I need comfort now. This is what I know. This is what I know. This is what my tendency is. This is what my excessive dependency is. And it just really, really changed. From that moment on, I didn't feel like a victim of food addiction. Like, I just asked the question, and then she just went and grabbed this book, and I was like, wow, people are really crazy. And I'm one of them. And kind of everybody, most of us can find ourselves somewhere on this list. So she's like, so tomorrow, Lulu, when you're on the bus going to work and you're looking around thinking, oh, look at that little skinny woman, and she's just eating this little cute little granola bar, and she's taking a bite, and then she doesn't take another bite for 5 minutes because she's reading her book. I'm like, what's up with that? And I'm just feeling such an odd duck, because I would have eaten 15 by the time she's just sitting there having a conversation, not taking the other bite. I don't get that. And I also don't get if somebody can't stop going to buying lottery tickets. I don't get that. Just don't buy them. And so that person that's eating that granola bar really slow, I don't know what's going on in her life. I don't know where she may be excessively dependent on something for her relief. And maybe she's completely free from an addictive agent. But most of us can see ourselves somewhere on this list. And when I look at this list and I think of all the people that I know, I could probably I don't diagnose people, but I could probably see where some people have issues in this life. And I have to equate that to the food addiction so that I don't have to feel like the oddball when I am at a wedding and they're serving all this fancy schmancy food that's not my food. and I bring my Tupperware with my weighted measured meal in it. And I don't even feel odd doing that anymore. I feel really good when I do that because, well, now that I've been doing it for so long, people, I'm not the one that's like, oh, what's crazy diet is she on now? Oh, what, and is she going to be like at the next family thing? Is she going to be fat? Is she going to be skinny? Is she going to be eating? Is she going to bring her Tupperware? It's like all just never, no consistency at all. And now that it's been so long, I'm in my 6th year. It's just kind of what people expect and who I am. And they know that I do still have a fun life, and I have an addiction that's being managed at the moment because I work really hard at managing it. So not everybody is managing their addictions. So yeah, that's what I have on this. Do you have any last words, Shalece, or are we good?
I was just going to say just one thing. I just am so grateful for the 12 steps because, again, the whole purpose of the 12 steps is to help us, like Lulu was saying, just to manage these challenges and to manage our emotions and to put our thinking back in line with reality with the help of God. And it's just, I don't know, it's just such a beautiful thing. So thank you for explaining this and going through it with us.
Yeah. And I have one more thing I'd like to say is, I'll just like be open and honest here. If I had to look at this list, I would say I have alcohol. It's being managed right now with the help of my higher power. I had money addictions. I had economic insecurity, which was completely removed from me as a result of working my steps. Most certainly control addictions, which has been removed as a result of working these steps. Food addiction, obviously. General perfectionism, for sure. And I remember somebody said to me once, it must be really rough to live a life where perfect is your goal, and you absolutely positively will never reach it, because I'm like a human beings just aren't perfect, right? So imagine having a goal like yet you're just like never going to reach. Like that was a waste of time. And I would say I also probably have that organizing and structuring, and I do it in a healthy way today. It seems less like I'm not mandating that everybody around me does too. That's how it probably grabbed me in my past. But a lot of this stuff, one program, I'm telling you, OA, if you find yourself, on this list in more than one area, working the steps, really step 1 is really the only one that mentions food or alcohol. I mean, the rest are it's just all about me and my relationship with people and my relationship with God and where my security comes from, where my solutions are. And for me, one program helped me is helping me manage my excessive dependency on a number of things here that has given me a life that's happy, joyous, and free. I mean, it just is. I don't have to think about this stuff anymore. It's like, what a gift, Anyway, thank you all for joining us.